Hello, my name is Ken Sausedo, and today I'm going to show you a powerful tool that you as a realtor have at your disposal that I bet you didn't even know you had, much less use. One of the benefits that comes from being a member of the National Association of Realtors is access to what is called RPR, Realtors Property Resource. Now, Realtors Property Resource is NAR's exclusive online real estate database, whose mission is to reinforce your value in the marketplace by keeping you ahead of the technology curve and to better enable you to serve today's technology-empowered consumer. Now, today I'm going to show you one of the coolest features of RPR, which is how to put together a comparative market analysis, or a CMA. So let's get right to it. I'm doing this on a laptop computer. RPR has a great phone app, but you're going to get better functionality by doing it on a computer. And when you first log into RPR, you want to go to narrpr.com. That's narrpr.com. And when you first go to that site, if you haven't already done that, you will have to create an account. It's easy to do with your NAR credentials, but I've already done that, so let's get right to the CMA. In the box here is where you want to put the address of your subject property. Now, I have a client who's interested in a for sale by owner, and originally the owner priced this property for my client at $390,000 and said they would take $381K, which at first it sounded like a good deal for my client. But I told him to hold off on getting too excited until we crunched some numbers and looked at the CMA. So for this demonstration today, I'm going to use that FSBO as our subject property. So let's go ahead and type that address in, and when you start typing it in, the database brings that up. There's the property. I hit search. And once you bring up the property, you get this fantastic overview of it. Now, we don't have ample time to cover everything that's on this homepage, but there's some great resources here, some good data you can use, track record for the last 10 years. You've got tax data, you've got school data, all that, although, like I say, some really good information, but for our purposes, I wanted to show you up here in this left-hand corner is what's called RVM. That's the Realtors Valuation Model. Now, this is real-time, real-world data that our MLS shares with RPR. Now, the thing about the RVM is that you can augment this value if you have done some renos. It'll recalculate the value of that subject property. Let's say, for example, you did a mid-range bathroom remodel and you just got it done in February of this year, and you paid about $12,000 for that reno. You can actually add that. It will update the value, but we have no updates on our subject property. But that's a cool little resource if you want to use that. Our subject property has no updating, so we're going to use it just as it is. So if you want to create this CMA, you just click the button that says create. And the first thing we want to do, and we want to do a comparative analysis, which is an estimate based on comps. But the first thing we want to do is confirm the facts of our subject property. And this is pulled from from public data, listing data. There's our subject property. There are no augmentations to any of this data, so we want to hit confirm facts and close. The next thing we want to do is find our comps. When you click find comps, it takes you to a page that has different search criteria. We want a single family residence here. It will give you properties that are active on MLS for sale, some that are pending. We want to do properties that have been sold, and we would do properties that have been sold within the last 6 months. Now, the values in these search boxes you can change. We want to just kind of keep those because we want to look at 3 bedrooms with about the same living area, in about the same price range, with the same price per square foot in the age that our house was built, which we've got 1955 to 1965. So if all your search criteria is the way you want it, you hit search, and there are 20 properties in our area of our subject property that have been sold in the last 6 months, some recently is in the 3-month range, some in the 3 to 6 month range, but there's our list. The nice thing about it is you also have a map view of those properties. And as we look around, I'm going to look for some properties that are close to our 352 that geographically are in close proximity. I'm going to use that one as a comp. And again, if you want to use the list view, you can go down there and you can add it to comps list from the list view. I wish I had some on the same street as ours, but I don't. So I'm going to go here and I see one that's 330 in this neck of the woods, and I see one that's about 360 right here. So I've got my 3 comps, and there they are listed on the right sidebar. And once you have your comps, you click update valuation and close. And there's your initial comp analysis, which is 362, 671. Now, not all your properties are the same, so you might want to adjust your comps. And let me go back to that just a minute. The tab that says adjust comps, you can make adjustments to those properties that you're using to compare with your subject. And the neat thing about this is you have a little slide bar. Now let's just say, for example, that this my property has old dated carpet, and say this property on Stewart Avenue has hardwood floors and tile, and it's been updated some. The question is asked, how does this property compare to the subject? Well, if it's upgraded over mine, you slide that to the right, which says it's better. And every time you slide that slider to the right, it brings your basic value of your subject property down. Same way, if it's not as nice as your subject property, you slide it this way and your valuation goes up. And you can do that with all of your comps, and I would say it's probably a good idea to know something about each of your comps before you slide the lever to the right or the left. We're going to keep them all the same, and you can do all your properties just like that. Some may be better, some may be worse, and you can tell every time you move the slider, your valuation changes. For our purposes today, let's keep them all the same. And once you get those adjustments made, you update the valuation and you close your window. And that, because we didn't change anything, our valuation stayed at 362, 671. Now, the interesting thing about that is the owner of this property called me last week and told me that she has a relative who is a realtor locally who told her that she had her property overpriced. And she told me that she would sell this property to my buyer in the $360,000 range, which, if you look on this CMA, that's about right. Now, when you get done with your CMA, one of the best features about this RPR is you create a report. And these reports, you've got a number of them to choose from. Some of them are pretty lengthy, but I'm going to choose the mini property report, which is still, when you see it, it's a nice, concise presentation of the data that I just showed you. You click Run Report, and this takes a little while to generate, so I'm going to close this window out. But when that finishes, you get a nice PDF of your property report that's so stylized and polished, even has your picture and all your data on there. You've got a map, property map, there's your comp analysis, all the facts about your home, pertinent data that some people would love to see about the history of that property, the sales history. So it's a great thing that you can hand your client that makes you look smart and savvy, and it may make the difference between you getting this listing over your competitor. That's how you do a quick and efficient CMA on RPR, and again, you can find this resource at narrpr.com. Thank you for watching.